You know, this whole interview is becoming a defensive interview.
No!
Are you wearing leather shoes?
Yeah,
Shut up.
I'm talking.
You know what I mean? I don't want to hear. You're wearing fur. You're wearing leather shoes.
I'm not an activist, but I'm saying
You're eating chicken.
Yeah.
You're eating meat. I don't want to hear this nonsense. Come to me with a paper belt and I'll talk to you.
But you did hear it in some of those press conferences. There were people who were upset, and you're just saying,
no,
what?
you know, I'm going. I really am going because all you have done is negative.
No.
All you have done is negative. I haven't heard that. I make people laugh for 50 years. I am put on earth to make people laugh. My book is funny. I wear fur that was killed 15 years ago. I work for animal rights. Stop it with, and you do this, and you're mean, and you're that. You are not the one to interview a person who does humor. Sorry.
Are we serious?
Jimmy on the beat, boy.
Let's get high, yeah, you know I'm about to roll. Let's get please, yeah, you know I gotta pull. Let's live life, yeah, once I'm about to turn up. Get fly, oh, for sure it's about to go up. Let's get high, yeah, you know I'm about to roll. Let's get please, yeah, you know I gotta pull. Let's live life, yeah, once I'm about to turn up. Get fly, oh, for sure it's about to go up. Roll my blunt and pass my lighter. Lit pop shit, get higher. I'm the hottest, call me fire. Rock out, jump up, live my life up.
Family, what's the word? Thanks for being here. Hey y'all, I want to shout out some people. Real talk, it makes me real happy that I got some day one still here. I want to shout out on the donation side, DC Mister. I want to shout out Megan. I want to shout out Carla. And I want to shout out Pretty Candles. Let's see, what's some more in there. And Marnell. I want to thank you guys for looking out. Oh, actually, let me, it's one more. But I got to give you guys the love, the appreciation. Oh my God, I'm about to feel bad. I don't know how to look it up on PayPal. Who sent stuff. Oh my goodness, I feel bad. But I do want to thank y'all, real talk. It means a lot. Okay, it was Marion, and thank Marion too. Yeah, we're here, we're back. I'm trying to make the episodes a little longer. People been telling me to make them longer, so here we are. And I also told people that if you get the Cash App up to $50, I'll go live. Because you know them live videos, they kind of mess up the channel when you got 20-minute uploads and you got an hour live. So yeah, that's the only reason. But we're about to talk about Joan Rivers. That was a clip we just seen at the beginning of the video. And if you know, you know. Joan didn't play, she didn't take no crap, but she also exposed a few things about the industry that might have gotten her looked at. So we're gonna go through some clips and see what we can find. Shout out to Jay Marvelous for sure. Let's get to it.
What I wanted to point out is this, actually. This is kind of interesting to me, is how she actually introduced Michael Jackson to her plastic surgeon. All right, now, I didn't know that Joan Rivers was actually the first celebrity to go through with getting plastic surgery. All right, she actually introduced Michael Jackson to her plastic surgeon, Steve Hoeflin. All right. Now, after this, in the early 90s, Joan Rivers started to become very outspoken. All right. She was constantly in the news for something outlandish, she would say. Okay, to get people talking. All right. That was her whole ordeal, was to just get people to talk. All right, about her. All right, keeping her name in the tabloids. So with her doing this, she kind of like broke the rules of the media, okay, and saying certain quotes that I will not repeat because it's just out of control, some of the things this woman has said. But it wasn't until towards the end of her career, all right, which I truly believe the people in higher positions took her out of here, all right? Now, here comes the controversy. Fast forward to 2014, okay? where she made a statement, okay, clarifying that the president Obama was gay, and that Michelle Obama was actually a.
All right, y'all. So what we just heard was a little bit about her, but this statement she said about the Obamas really put the eye on her. And after this statement, you started to notice certain things happening with her and also her energy. She stood resilient, but it's only so much you can do and take when you're playing with certain powers. And that's only what some people say. Do I know that personally? Not whatsoever. But when you play the game, you got to obey by the rules. And it's crazy because I'd never trusted that clothing line to say it was like, I think it was called Obey, if I ain't mistaken. They had hats, shirts, and everything. But let's get back to the content. Let's check out what she said about the presidential couple, the Obamas.
Okay, where she mentioned, we already have it with Obama, so let's just calm down, she said. You know Michelle Obama is a okay? Now, in response to this, Barack Obama had written a letter to her daughter, okay, Melissa Rivers, after she passed away, where he said, what she mentioned here, I received a letter from the White House from President Obama, someone who was often a target of her jokes, as was Mrs. Obama. But I received a handwritten note saying, not only did she make us laugh, she made us think.
Not only did she make us laugh, she made us think. Do y'all think that was a sarcastic statement? Or do y'all think it was like a little bit of truth there? It's like, could she be what Joanne said? And the thing is, a lot of people thought about it. And then when you go and look up some of these old photos and stuff, it's like, ooh, okay, I can kind of see where she got that impression from. But let me let Jay Marvelous cook and drop some more gems. Let's go.
Now, after Joan Rivers had made this statement about Michelle Obama, she had went through an issue in the airport where the federal government would not let her board the plane.
Joan, don't you feel ashamed of yourself that you're calling a poor woman that's just doing her job the way the federal guidelines are set up and calling her a moron? I mean,
no,
she's
I
doing
don't,
a
my
service to
darling.
all the people on the plane.
Just hold it, mister. I was given a boarding pass with the wrong name on it. I went through 5 different security passes, and then a woman at the gate who will not look at my passport, who will not call Continental, who will not call for help, who will not recheck into their records, says to me, you cannot go on? No, she is a moron.
Now, I think it's funny that they mentioned the airplane, because somebody that we talked about heavily on this channel, we also think that he was targeted on a plane, well, getting off a plane, and that was King Von. But did they put this woman on a no-fly list? Who shot down the memo that said, hey, this lady comes, don't let her fly? Come on, you really got to think about all this stuff, y'all, because if the stuff that doesn't make sense, it makes perfect sense. It's just way more simple than we make it. Especially with these things, you got to really take what these people say and show. You got to take it for what it is. And what they do is they disguise it behind a lot of jokes.
Okay, so as you can see there, in that very same clip, CNN took it upon themselves to edit out what she actually said. Okay, but in that very same clip, she made this statement clear here. Now, this wasn't a thing of concern until she had mentioned it publicly. With this transpiring, they had to get Miss Joan Rivers up out of here, if you know what I'm saying. All right, now I want to talk about the way that she died, okay, which is a form of a ritual. On August 28th, 2014, Joan Rivers experienced serious complications and stopped breathing while undergoing what was scheduled to be a minor throat procedure at an outpatient clinic in Yorkville, Manhattan. Okay, so now with her undergoing this surgery and her losing a force of life after making this statement. Okay, the very same year, not even a month or two later, she was dead. Okay, now a lot of people understand that Michelle Obama may or was possibly born a man. All right. As you can see in this clip here, Barack Obama slips up and mentions this.
Walking and holding hands.
With my husband Michael and hold hands.
Bruh. I walk with my husband Michael and we hold hands. Come on, man, but you got to go back to that handwritten letter where he said that. She made us laugh and she made us think. And then the thing is, you guys, you got to think about the agenda that this man ushered in. You got to think about the deception. Here we are so happy that we're getting the president of Hugh, but the whole time this dude has an agenda that he pushed heavily. So what's the coincidence of certain accusations and rumors with the agenda of multicolors that he's pushing?
It's like a whole new world for me. Just walking and holding hands.
All right, so with possibilities that Joan Rivers had actually ousted or broke the oath, okay, the code of silence, that secrecy that they're supposed to keep, being involved in a fraternity at such a young age, and then to be a part of the same groups, okay, and same organizations and fraternities as Barack Obama, okay, and kind of like, you know, you went against the grain there, all right? So the only way that they could silence her was to take her out during her procedure, all right? Now, if you guys notice, anytime there is a celebrity that either chokes or has a throat accident or something like that, or just mysteriously dies, okay, it's because they were outspoken. These are all rituals, okay?
Yeah, we're going to end it with that part of the video with Joanne, but it's not a coincidence. It's not whatsoever. And a lot of people get so, I don't know, it's like people just look past it. I guess if it doesn't affect my day-to-day, then who cares? When ultimately, it affects your day-to-day. The energy, the vibrations, the things that are passed through with this TV and music and stuff. Listen, it's real. That's why they call it radio programming. Your television programming. Yeah. Anyway, let's check out Poetic Flacco's content. And Charleston White, I'm done with this dude, y'all. Because he talks about, it's just the rappers, and it ain't them. I go for the personas, F Nipsey. I love Aramis. Well, this dude was playing college football, attending college, a big brother of two, and something happened to him, and it's very wrong. Like Boosie was right about Baton Rouge and just Louisiana as a whole. It makes you think, but check out these clips, you guys.
Charleston White currently has everybody on the internet really pissed, like really, really pissed. And it's all because of his comments on Kairen Lacy. Now, if you guys are not familiar with who Kairen Lacy is, Kairen Lacy was a college football star. He was supposed to go to the NFL. But right before he was supposed to go to the NFL, he got arrested for negligent homicide.
Well, tonight, former LSU wide receiver Kairen Lacy turned himself in on charges related to a hit and run that killed a man. Lacy declared for the draft after graduating in December. Now, he could be charged with negligent homicide.
All right, so what happened? They alleged that little bro was involved in a incident that took someone's existence. And then they came out with some stuff about having new evidence. And the new evidence was supposed to prove that the dude wasn't involved in it. So in these next few clips, we're going to hear Flacco's opinion, but we're also going to see the footage, the proof that little dude wasn't even involved in an incident. He was like 75 yards behind. You'll see his car pull up. But Charleston, it's time we stop giving dude attention. When you guys hear these clips, you'll see why everything's about to change for dude.
And because that's the belief, a lot of people was irate and angry when new evidence arise proving that Kairen Lacy was not responsible for the car accident that led to those deaths, that he was actually 75 feet away from the accident. So there's no way he could have caused it, and his arrest was false. And that pissed off a lot of people.
That's right. So Kairen Lacy's attorney says that he looked at every piece of evidence, including surveillance video, body cam footage, and the investigative report by the Lafourche Parish District Attorney's Office. During that interview shared with us by Homa TV, the attorney says reports between the District Attorney's Office and state police do not add up. During a recent interview on Homa TV, former LSU football star Kairen Lacy's attorney, Matt Ory, says data and surveillance video shows Lacy was more than 70 yards away from a collision on State Highway 20 in Lafourche Parish that killed 78-year-old Herman Hall in December of 2024.
At the time of impact, he's 72.6 yards behind the vehicles at the time of impact.
Following that wreck, Lacy was accused of being at fault for the crash and turned himself in to state police in January on counts of negligent homicide, felony hit and run, and reckless operation of a vehicle. At the time of his arrest, Louisiana State Police stated that Lacy, who was driving a green Dodge Charger, illegally passed multiple vehicles, causing a vehicle traveling in the opposite direction to avoid Lacy by swerving and crashing head-on into the vehicle that Herman Hall was a passenger in. Ory says Lacy was too far away to have any effect on the crash.
Kairen Lacy did in fact pass 4 cars. There's no disputing that. Further north, Kairen Lacy passed 4 cars. However, he was back in his lane of travel, 92.3 yards. Back in his lane, behind Mr. Hall.
In a statement sent to WWL Friday night, Louisiana State Police said in response to the Homa TV interview in part, investigative findings revealed that Mr. Lacy's reckless driving while approaching oncoming traffic led to the events of the crash.
The very last line of the report from the District Attorney's Office says, the evidence submitted in the crash report does not support that Kairen Lacy should have known that his actions were the cause of the crash that happened approximately 72 yards in front of him.
Now, to make a long story short, y'all, it's so crazy because in the body cam audio, you can clearly hear what is believed to be the officer trying to coerce someone into agreeing with the officer's narrative, not the truth or what was really assessed. That he tried to coerce the person to go with his narrative. And it takes me back to Boosie's video where he was talking about how the city wants to do this to him and that to him and things like that. But somebody's responsible, y'all. Somebody has to lose a job. Somebody has to pay this family. This young dude is not on the earth anymore due to probably feeling like your whole future is snatched away from you, especially due to some things you can't control. It was out of your hands, something you're totally innocent of. Just imagine seeing your future just wash away and you feel like you can't even control it. The narrative's already made, opinions are already formed, and that's the bad thing about the internet and weak mental. Like, yeah. But let me shut up. Let's get to these Charleston clips. Check out what this dude said and let me know what you guys think.
Another user was hoping that Kairen Lacy's family bankrupts the state of Louisiana, stating, "This is unbelievable." For the most part, people believe that Kairen Lacy was dealt a bad hand. And because of that bad hand, he's no longer with us. And people like Van Lathan, and he posted, "This makes me so angry." And for the most part, this was one of the topics, especially, bro, in like this current climate where it's heavily political. This was one of those things that it felt like everybody was united on. Well, everybody besides Charleston White, all right? Because while people is grieving Kairen Lacy, Charleston White has a opposing view on this Kairen Lacy situation. And here's what he had to say.
Kairen Lacy He done been found innocent, and he done guaranteed a trip to hell. Go weak ass. He know he innocent. For to kill my motherfucker and his mama and anybody else who supported him. Everybody who mad about Kairen Lacy. He was a weak ass and this here. You supposed, you think if I won't say Charlie Kirk, I won't say self-hanging ass. You make that white boy hang you. You make him wrongly convict you. You make the white boy kill you. You don't kill yourself. You don't, man, you make the white man kill you.
We're gonna end it right there, y'all. This is a very hateful dude in my opinion. And you gotta think about who his handler is for real. I feel like his handler's Aiden Ross. Period. That's how I feel. So be it. I've never supported this dude like that. Now when he goes to City Hall or when he used to, yeah. But what we get right now, I can't vibe with it, y'all. And in my opinion, my thoughts, you shouldn't either. He's making a fool of everybody that claims they like him. Now that we got somebody that's not even a rapper, and he's going nuts on them. I thought it was just the rappers. I didn't know it was a productive young black male. That's interesting. Anyway, $ Trap House Kitchen 1. I want to thank everybody that donates to the channel. For sure, it means a lot. And shout out to the ones still riding with me. If you're here, let me know how long you've been here. When did you join? What made you join? Yeah, y'all get it. Anyway, I'm out. Peace.